Hello, so today for my book review, I've chosen Parrotfish by Ellen Wittlinger. Yeah, so looking at the cover of this book and just the title, Parrotfish, I was like, what kind of title was that? And when someone saw this book, they thought, like, oh, you're reading a book about fish? I was like, no, actually, I don't even know what this has to do with anything. But I just read the synopsis and it sounded so good. And I was like, oh, this just rang so many bells because I was writing a book just like this one. So, getting into it, Parrotfish is about a girl, which I'm not really was sure if she was a sophomore or junior in high school, but it doesn't matter. A teenage girl who decides that she does not want to be a girl anymore and wants to be a boy. Angela goes she goes from Angela to Grady, and just the effect it has on everybody. Like, she's decided that, like, for a long time she's never felt like she was a girl, and so now she decides to make the full commitment into becoming a guy. And just that just sounds interesting. Like, ooh, the ways they could go with this. Just, like how what a teenager has to go through this, or any person really, and just all her challenges and what she thinks about the world and all that good stuff. What I got from the book was I thought it was really good, but then it was kind of really slow moving. And well, let me just back up and tell you what happens in the book. Okay, so Angela is basically she was a girl who was homeschooled with her best friend and her younger sister. She has a younger brother, lives with mom, dad. Okay, mom is Jewish, very motherly. The dad is so hyped on getting Christmas ready. Like, this whole book takes place like right after Thanksgiving and like before the New Year. So it's like very condensed, this whole book. And how he's so interested in getting like their house made up so wonderful for Christmas that every year people come just to look at their house because the decorations and the lights and everything. Her brother Charlie is 11 and he's annoying, he's lazy. I guess his parents kind of spoil him. Well, they spoil all the kids actually. Her younger sister Laura is I think she's like a freshman in high school or something. And now she has to deal with her older sisters now wanting to be a guy, and how her friends and people all just associate her with her older sister. And then we have Angela, who decides, why do people have to be split up in groups and sections? Why does it have to be male or female? Which is a good question. Why is it always this or that? And not the world isn't just black and white. And she's been feeling this way for a long time, so she bought a bunch of guys' clothes and got a bandage to put around her chest and looked for a name, and she chose the name Grady, which I was like, I don't like that name, but she chose it with a good purpose. Grady because it has gray in it, which means she's right in the middle. She's not black or white. She's not this or that. She's kind of in the middle. It's the gray spot. So just her making this decision affects everybody. Like it says, one little thing changes and suddenly everything is different. One thing she changed was her gender, and soon everything was just different. Like, messed up for like no reason. Her best friend Eve, who she's been homeschooled with, and they've known each other for a long time. They finally get out of homeschooling, and I think Eve is a year lower than her, so I think Eve is like a sophomore, and she might be a junior. And they're finally, getting socialized and meeting new people. Eve totally like ignores Angela in public, and she gets her own posse, this group of really really mean girls. And Angela's just like, I don't understand, why would Eve hang out with her? Eve's just a really quiet, shy, but very kind, nice girl. And then when they're not in the public eye, she always goes to Angela and always is apologizing and saying, we are still friends, we're just not friends at school. And I was like, yeah, that means you're not friends, like, whatever. uh and then, like you said, her sister, who's like upset with this, that she has to change all of a sudden. Her mother's upset with it. Now she has to see her daughter as now her son. And I know Angela may not always see how hard it is for people just to automatically change their thinking. You've been Angela for like your whole life, and all of a sudden now you're Grady, and people got to get used to that. So in high school, Angela meets this boy named Sebastian, and they become really, really good friends. Sebastian is just one of those really weird eccentric characters, and I feel like the author played it up as too much for him to be weird. Like, there are characters who are weird in novels, and they're very likable weird, and then there are like characters who they're like, yeah, this character's gonna be weird. I don't really know why, or what the background story of that is. I'm just know he's gonna be weird, and they put so much effort into making them weird that makes them like very plain and unoriginal. I guess Sebastian's kind of in the middle. Like, I liked Sebastian, but I feel like he was just like, oh, he's weird, and he's just weird to be weird, and that's the end of it. Sebastian is like a short kid. He's into, oh, reading a lot, into books. His mother and father in the books. He's just really smart. He kind of talks to everybody, but doesn't really have a clique or a real like close friend until Angela, or AKA Grady, shows up. He just, and he stands up for himself. He's just like one of those people that everyone likes in high school, but he doesn't really have any close friends. And let's see, of course we got this boy who, the bully, who's part of Eve's little group, who are really, really mean to Angela just because of, changing your gender. Oh my god, it's such a big deal. Uh, I, I really couldn't pronounce her name. I think it's Danya. It's Danya. So Danya, I guess. And it's funny because in this generation, it seems more people are coming out of the closet or being more homosexual or lesbian or transvestites and all this crazy stuff. You think like our generation would be used to it, but apparently not everyone is comes around, I guess, to it as easily as others. And like the girls in the school are just really mean. The guys in the school are really mean. But I like how in the book, not everyone is just mean and out to get Grady, because when some of the bullies are mean to her, there are other people who stand up for her and are cheering her on and are like, yeah, you guys are just being jerks, which happens in high school, which they don't show that often. They always show the negative and mean side of people in high school, but they never show the nice people, because there are people who will stand up for you and people who like you for who you are. But in books and movies, they barely ever show that. They always just show the mean side, which I liked how they showed that in this book. Oh, you have Grady's love interest. Her name is Kita, and I really like the picture I got when visualizing her. It just makes you sound like she's so beautiful. She is, I call them Blasians. She's half Japanese and she's half African American. So she's got that, look, the eyes and the skin tone, and she has dreads. And, she's just so beautiful that Grady's like, oh, I love her. But of course she has a boyfriend. What happens when they break up? Grady goes in for the kill, and yeah, the rest is history. Uh, Grady's dad is actually, which is very different, he's very open to the idea of him, her being Grady, her becoming a him. He's like, oh, yeah, I always thought of you as my son, because I guess they were so close and they did a lot of the same things together. They liked the same things and whatnot. So yeah, her and her brother, the dad and the brother didn't seem too upset about it, but the mom and the sister did, which was interesting. So yeah, throughout the book is just her going through her high school life and deciding that she's going to be a boy. But as interesting and as good as the story sounds, I had a few problems with this story. It's so condensed as in the time frame. Like I said, it happens like the day after Thanksgiving is when the book starts, and then like right before New Year's Eve or on New Year's Eve or something is when the book ends. And in that time they squeeze so much. It's like a month and they fit everything in, and which causes the book to kind of be very slow at times, because it's kind of going like day by day and it's kind of a little boring. Also, just because like this whole transformation things, like you could have gone her whole junior year or something, but no, they go a month. One of the biggest problems I had also with the book is that most of the story started before the book even started. And what I mean by that is that when we start in the first chapter, we Angela is already Grady. Like, she's already made the transformation. We're not going through the transformation with her. She's already done it. So she's already decided, she's already cut her hair, changed her clothes, and got her new name. She's already told people, and she's like, this is what I'm going to be called, this is what I'm going to do. Her falling out with her best friend already happened. We didn't see that. It already happened. Uh, the transition to real school instead of homeschool already happened for her. which I think is why she's a junior, because this year Eve, her best friend, is new to new to the school. So like we already missed that. We missed every big event I think for Grady that is important for us to know about. It's already happened. So like in the first few chapters, Grady's just playing catch up with us. He's telling us all this stuff that happened, all the stuff that happened in the past that we already missed. And I thought that was a little different because why are you telling us when you can just show us? Why don't you write about the transformation process? And that's what I thought the book was going to be about. The book is about her month, I guess, her month in high school and like how people were treating her, which I mean, did she just start this? Oh yeah, she did it over break. Yeah, she did it over Thanksgiving break or something like that. So she was a girl in the beginning of the school year. After Thanksgiving break, she comes back as a guy, and just mostly just getting everyone's reaction. You know, her trying to figure out, well, what does she do with this girl Kita? Like, technically they're both girls, but she's now a guy, and just how does she make friends and how does she which bathroom to use. It's just those little things are interesting, but why not go through the whole transformation process? I mean, so much important stuff happens, but we don't really know about it, or they don't go through with us. She tells us about it. So yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like, yeah, as long as this book is, it's pretty thick, still an easy read. I got to a little bit past the middle, so I had like a quarter of it left, and I was really bored with the book, and I just stopped reading it. Then I went back to quickly skim. I was like, where's this going? And that's another problem with this book. It's so predictable. The romance is predictable. The friendship is predictable. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't really want to finish it, but I finished it, and guess what? It happened like I thought it would happen. There were no twists, no turns, no big surprises near the end, or that many through the book, actually. So yeah, those are like the big three problems. Just how the time frame, how we miss everything, all the big events that happens in Grady's life, and not really kind of predictable. This story wasn't really engaging as I thought it would be. It was still a good book, and I still glad I read it. It gave me some, more information of when I'm writing my book that's very similar to this. That gave me some more ideas. And the reason the book is called Parrotfish, because a parrotfish is a type of fish that can change its gender. Like if there are too many males or if there are too many females, they can change themselves to male, and that ties in with Grady because she went from female to male. But that's an interesting name for a book, a parrotfish, because it's just that name would be like, who'd want to pick up that book? And it's really good. The book is actually really good. I mean, like I said, it's not a hard read. I think because you get so invested in it in the beginning, you just keep reading, you keep reading. You don't really think about how far you're going in it. But for me, about the middle, a little bit past the middle, I was getting a little bored with it. I was going too slow. It was getting a little predictable. I was just like, what's going on? Can we hurry this up? And you know what? Some of the things I feel like are exaggerated, but that happens in books and movies. Like the way the faculty treats Grady. Like, do people talk to you like this? The way just people treat you in general. How the bully treats her, how the faculty, maybe the bully, but the teachers, how they talk to her, how they treat her, whether it be good or bad. It just seems it's very on extreme. They treat her good, they're treating her really good. Like the gym teacher, if they're treating you bad, they're treating you really bad. Like the principal. And just, I really like the book of just how hard it is to do something different. And when you be true to yourself, what's the cost for being yourself? Because then after Grady does this, she's like, well, was this the right choice? Maybe I shouldn't have done this, but there's no turning back. You've already done it. Maybe she's like, maybe I should have waited until college, because college is like, nobody freaking cares what you do. High school is like the epitome of teenage whatever. Either people love you or you don't. The best friend Eve is like, I want to be popular. I want to make friends. So she gets a group of really mean girls, and it's better to be on the good side than the bad. And just like, what? Like, this is so cliched. What? No. What kind of best friend are you? You've been friends since you were little, and then you feel sorry so bad at the end. You feel so sorry, and then all of a sudden we're best friends again. And yeah, So, this book was good. Let me just say that the book was good. It was really good in the beginning. Kind of got a little loose in the middle. By the end, it went where you think it went where you thought it was going to go. It's not like it had a bad ending or it was a bad book or bad story. It was a really good story. The author did a lot of research to write this book. The characters were interesting, though some were cliched and very rude for no reason. The characters were interesting and mostly they were believable. Sebastian was just strange, but we all have that strange friend. And when you picture the name Sebastian, you don't picture this guy in the book. So he's really nice. He's like really nice to Grady and really nice to just everybody. Let me see. Oh, the writing was really great, actually. Oh, yeah. The writing was pretty good because I like Grady's voice. How he interprets what people are thinking or saying about him. He makes up these scripts in his head when people are not around him. He makes up what they're actually saying behind his back, which is funny. He like picks a, picks like apart picks apart whatever pieces of the whole thing about gender, like why does like the grouping and everything, and how he thinks about this really deeply. And I like that. I like Grady's voice, and Grady's the one narrating, and hopefully you guys will like, because if you don't like the writing of it, it's hard to read a book. So the writing was really great, and the characters were really great. The family, Angela's slash Grady's family, was very believable and very interesting and unique in their own way. So I definitely would give this a go. If you can find this, go find Parrotfish, because this book was really good. Just look out for what those negatives I told you about, and that's all I have for now, and I shall see you later.